The opportunity to work at a cultural institution like Portland Stage, I mean, it's really an incredible honor. My name is Jamie Hogan, and I was asked to work on the whole season, and I think it's because Portland Stage wanted to create one sort of unified look, that having one approach or style or media would help kind of tie the look together. It's just exciting to get to read the scripts first and to treat it like I would telling any kind of story with illustration. You know, I kind of bring a little bit of drawing, a little bit of observation, parts of imagination to what I do. Looking for visual elements in the story and in the dialogue is a challenge, but it's a fun challenge, I think. You're not just putting on a show. There's a lot of educational elements here. Who created it? In what context did they create it? And what was their intended audience, In the case of the mountaintop, the thing that's a challenge there is that, Martin Luther King Jr. is such an icon, in our culture. When I started to look at what has been done before, I definitely want that image to suggest that he's going to have some kind of spiritual awakening. That the timing of that particular story is so full of history that hasn't happened yet. And I think it's just an incredibly complex play on a lot of levels. My studio is my favorite place to be in the world. My desk is in the corner, so I can look out two different windows and I can see the ocean out one way. And so I do a lot of just walking down to the beach with the dog, and that's a daily thing that I do, and just kind of get to be outside, because that's one thing about living in Maine is I love being outside in all the seasons, and that renews me before I go back to the studio. I find a lot of inspiration in just the island setting. I work traditionally with pastel and charcoal pencil on paper, but then in the end, everything is sort of assembled digitally and delivered digitally. In the case of the Snow Queen poster, Eileen had picked out one of my loose sketches that involved a girl on a reindeer. She liked the action and the drama and the fantasy of that. So in trying to make that convincing, I had to do the drawing of the girl and the reindeer several times, probably at least 10 times, because I wanted to get the proportion and the gesture and all of that correct. And I work on tracing paper so that I can draw it out once, but then know that I'm going to layer over it until I kind of refine it. And so in that case, I did the drawing of the reindeer and the girl on one piece of paper, and then I did the drawing of the Snow Queen on a separate piece of paper. So there are two different pieces of art. And then digitally they were combined. So I had seen the production a couple of years ago, and the first year that I had seen it, Anita had created a paper theater, and I just found that really inspirational towards what I wanted to create for this poster. It felt like it was parallel layers of construction, and that the people that do put the production together here, they're makers, they're Maine makers. They're coming here and they're doing it on a local basis, and it's unique to this place and this story and this production. Going to all the plays in a season is something that I really treasure. And I think it's exciting, the kind of buffet that Portland Stage puts together, because we're going to expose you to all the realms of art making. And in that exposure, you're going to grow.